Welcome back to Neffy Crafts and Scraps, where I love to share my me album. Today I'm working on a stitched layout, so keep watching if you're interested. I am your host, Neffy. I am the one behind the scenes creating all the crafty stuff. If you're new here, I'd love to have you join the community, so subscribe, like, and share. So today we're continuing on in my Me album, which I have previously shared a video for, and you can check that out in the little link you'll see pop up. And I'm working on basically the back side of the cover page that I've already created. The size for this album is 8.5 by 11 inches, so I'm able to use regular printer paper as well as the letter sized cardstock paper, which is what I'm going to use as my base today. I have already selected a collection to kind of continue on with this book, so I am using it again today, and I'm utilizing some photographs that I took in my crafty space at the beginning of this year, and I really enjoyed taking those pictures and posing, and so I want to document this as part of my me album because my creativity is something that I am dedicated to, and I think it represents a side of me that I take on seriously as a way of living, and I think that today the purpose of this layout is to kind of capture that. So with all that being said, you can see me chopping up some stuff here. I'm using my paper trimmer to trim down these pictures that I took to card size. The cards here are 3 by 4, and I'm using 2 cards and 2 pictures to create a grid-like I guess, center on my page. And then later on, I will add the stitching to add a little bit more color to that white base. But we're just trimming away. And I'm going based on the size of the cards. I didn't do any exact measuring. I just wanted to make sure that like I was in the center of the page. I'm gonna add a layering behind the photographs just to give it a little extra color so that it doesn't look so muted with the white background. And I'm using some matching tones here. So that paper that I just touched with those little pencils has a wood grain type color on those pencils. So I thought that matched well with that wood grain paper I selected. And then at the bottom, there is the pink paper that kind of makes the pink pop out of the butterfly card that I selected. So I'm just going to use some glue to stick that down, and you saw me there kind of considering what I was going to do next. I'm going to bring out my very brand new and very dusty sewing machine that I purchased, I would say 2 years ago, and I'm actually going to use it for the first time today. I previously had another sewing machine that was my ride or die, and that one did get a little bit ruined. So this one is going to be brand new, and I really just kind of wanted to get it going, get the gears moving in it, which is why I decided to create a layout like this, where I knew I would use it to create sort of a grid block all around the page. So here she is. She is a little dusty, but now that she got a nice little wipe, she's ready to go. And I'm going to go ahead and create those stitches. So a question I have for you is, have you ever utilized a sewing machine to stitch on paper? I would love to know, and leave me a comment in the comment section below if you ever have used it, and let me know if you like it. I have actually been doing this from when I first started scrapbooking in 2015. I think the first sewing machine I got in 2016, but I got it specifically to use with paper. I find that it gives a very um, great texture to the paper. It makes things look more polished, a little bit more finished because you have that extra time for it. And I would highly recommend it. And if you guys would like to learn how to use a sewing machine on paper and would love for me to, I would love to show you guys. But I would like to know if there's any inquiries out there. That way I can figure out if you guys have any questions about it and how you can even get started with it. So with that being said, again, I am now just gonna start layering stickers here. This is the Flower Power collection. Don't quote me because I don't really know collections. Um, I'm kind of out of touch with the recent collections, so I just like it because of the flowers here. There was a lot of the flower stickers that I was using, a lot of little ones with leaves, and again, I'm just adding a little bit of interest to what I already have on the page. I did decide to keep all the strings on the paper. I didn't trim off the strings that came off the machine from when I was threading it and doing all of that. And at the end, I left long strings just to, again, texture. I'm all about it. And I think it always adds interest and it's what adds dimension and a little bit of personality to each page. So I'm just going to be continuing to add these final touches and then I'm ready to pop it up in the sleeve. And as far as that layout goes, that is all I'm going to do. I do add another trim here to that plastic sleeve, and I have to run that through the sewing machine as well because they seem to slip off. They don't really stick because the surface is very slick. So that will make sure it just gives it a little extra color. And that's it, friends. This is what the layout looks like. Because it is in the back of the cover page, I added a quote printable that I got a few years back. And you'll see that in the final photos. If you have any questions about that, please let me know. That's actually from an old Light the Path collection. And I think it goes well again with the purpose of my book. It's for me. I love inspiring quotes and affirmations. And so here are the close-ups. I hope you guys have enjoyed today's video. And again, like, comment, subscribe, press that bell button, and I will see you guys all in the next video. Have a good day. Bye.